So Paddy, first of all, thanks for joining us. This is actually your first interview with the club, isn't it, since you've been here now? So you've been here a while, so how are you finding your time at the Spy-Rites and how's your summer been?
Yeah, obviously came in September and really good season, to be honest with you. Couldn't have went much better. From the minute I came in the door the Friday before we went to play Chesterfield away, the staff, both from the football side and the club, made me feel really welcome. Obviously the players did as well. We went top of the league at Chesterfield away and we remained there ever since, and obviously we were successful come the end of the season and we enjoyed that. Pretty busy summer, if I'm being honest. Following the celebrations that we had a few days away in Spain. Managed to get home, celebrate my son's birthday, and then I was off to America for 2 weeks, working as with my role in Everton, before I managed to get back and have some time at home in Ireland with my family. So rest and recharged, ready to go again. Yeah,
like you say, it's been a summer of recharge, hasn't it? So have you found that quite mentally, well? Have you enjoyed the break away from football?
Yeah, I think the time at home was valuable. I hadn't been home for a considerable period of time since I moved over here, so managing to get home for 10 days, spending quality time with my family, my friends, being able to switch off and have a little bit of support around, and it was good. We came back and obviously we're back into the thick of it and ready to go.
Yeah, the supporters that are watching this video, obviously most of them probably actually won't really know who Paddy is, and what your role is. So I guess this is just your chance to sort of tell the supporters, about your playing career and how you got involved with football, and then sort of your coaching career and how you ended up at the Spy-Rites.
Yeah, so I played obviously back home in Belfast. I grew up there, just not too far from the city centre. Played for my local boys team, grassroots side. Went on then to play with the Irish League team Donegal Celtic, moved on to Cliftonville, and a spell at Carrick Rangers before I spent 2 seasons in America playing for Dynamis United. Coming back from that, I decided that the playing wasn't not necessarily for me, because I loved playing, but I had started coaching at the time, and I felt that was the journey that I wanted to go down. I thought if I stopped playing young enough and concentrated on coaching, that I could have a good career at that. That was both. I played obviously football and Gaelic games back home, and I made the decision to come away from both. So within quite a short period of time, really, I was coaching. I took my little brother's team, which was my local grassroots team, Rosario, in the Ormer Road of Belfast, and quite quickly I left there to go to Cliftonville with the under-19s. A short spell at Cliftonville before going into Larne with one of my former teammates at Carrick Rangers, where I was the first team coach there. I think at the time I was the youngest in the country at that, and I spent a really good 18 months at Larne, but I always had aspirations of going as high as I could, and I knew that I would probably hit a ceiling one day in Northern Ireland, and the opportunity to come and work in England really appealed to me, and I had the opportunity to come over and take a job at Wigan Athletic. I had back home in Belfast, I'd been working with the IFA on the Elite Player Development Programme. I'd been working with Curver. I'd started to do bits with Glasgow Rangers, and the opportunity came to come to Wigan, and I made the decision to move over here, and I spent 12 weeks at Wigan before I left and joined Everton in October 2015, and I was fortunate enough to have almost 9 really good years at Everton, before coming, obviously, the opportunities come to Chesterfield, and that's come about through a little bit of work at non-league at City of Liverpool, then at Macclesfield, where we were successful and fortunately won the league at both those clubs before coming here and winning the league again here.
So what's your relationship like with Paul Cook, and how did he sort of get in touch with you to come and work with the Spy-Rites?
The gaffer's unbelievable. The gaffer, just first and foremost as a person, he's top drawer. From the first time I met him, he made me feel at ease. We shared similar views in terms of how we felt football should be played, and the opportunity come. Believe it or not, we actually live not far from each other, but we never actually crossed paths. And it was I met Gary Robbo on a course a couple of years ago, and Gary and I stayed in touch, and again we share similar views in terms of how we think football should be played, in terms of how we think we structure the weeks and what training looks like, and we remained in touch. And then I suppose with a little bit of unfortune becomes fortune, and Kieran took sick, and they needed a body to come in and help, and Gary had sort of pitched the idea to the gaffer about me coming in, and I met both of them for a coffee, and it felt like I knew them for years, and it was all quite smooth really, and I was obviously delighted to get the opportunity to come in, but I'm even more happy that Kieran's back to full health and he's back around, and if it meant that I couldn't stay, then so be it. I enjoyed my time here, but fortunately we've been able to work something, and we're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So how would you say that, obviously last season with Paul Cookett and you know the staff here and joining the Sparks, how did that impact you personally, and in terms of your coaching career, what do you think that's sort of done for it?
I think in terms of learning and development, you know, listening to the gaffer in the office and the rest of the staff, you know, you've got Gary, you've got Kieran now, Webby, Bucky from a goalkeeping perspective. You've got all the staff. Like, the office is a learning environment in itself, and the knowledge that the gaffer has and that he shares with us is second to none. So personally, I took so much in terms of my own learning and development from the manager. Then obviously on the grass, working with the calibre of player, you know, we've got some top players here, both lads that have been around the game a long time and young lads that want to go on and have careers like them, and obviously for me as a coach that wants to work as hard as they can, and being able to work with players like that have been there and done it is an enjoyable experience. It's a challenging one, but it's a challenge obviously that I relish.
What about your role within the coaching setup on a day-to-day basis? So, you know, what does Paddy do, you know, Monday to Friday when there's no match?
It's a good question. Probably bring a lot of volume to the office. When people see me, they probably think I'm quite quiet, but when they know me, they probably say a little bit different. But no, I would say for me, every day it's about being on the grass. It's what I love. It's my release. I love getting up. I love being on the grass. I love working with the players. I love structuring the sessions together. So a typical week for us would be coming in on a Monday. Obviously lads have played on a Saturday, some haven't, so we're structuring training the lads that need a little bit more and lads that need a little bit less. So myself and the rest of the staff will put that together. We'll then go and deliver that, and again Tuesday then we're starting to get our work in for the week ahead. It's big work day on a Tuesday because lads have had their 2-day recovery. Other lads are ready to go and chomping at the bit to play this Saturday, so they want to put a marker down. And then we work hard because naturally Wednesday would be a day off for us, and then we're tailoring into the game on a Saturday. The tactical elements come in on a Thursday, Friday, and we go again on a Saturday.
As a coach then, obviously on a match day your role is maybe different to within the week, so would you say that a match day is still your favourite day, or do you really enjoy the sort of Monday to Friday work on the training field?
Listen, I think you'd be lying if you said you didn't enjoy the Saturday and fighting for 3 points. Like, you know, sitting in the dugout out there and a packed SMH Group Stadium is frightening. You know, the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. We've had some unbelievable days both at this stadium and away this season, and there are memories that'll last forever. I think as a coach, the most enjoyable bit though is when you spend a week working on something and it comes through on a Saturday. That's the most enjoyable bit, and I think that's testament to obviously the staff and you know, Jack and Davey for doing the analysis on the opposition, for us then as coaching staff to be able to put something together, for the gaffer then to go over to oversee it all and then present it and deliver it to the coach, to the players, and then for the players to go and deliver that. And when you see that from the start of the week to the end of the week and coming away with 3 points, it really makes the job worthwhile. Yeah,
obviously you've now signed, you know, a new deal with the Sparks as well to be here full time. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about that? And obviously I assume you're delighted to be staying with the club for another year.
Yeah, listen, I'm made up to be here. When I came in September, I said it at the time. It was an opportunity that I couldn't turn down, and one that I've loved every minute of. So when it came to the end of the season and the sort of negotiation started as the coming in here, and you know, Phil and Ash and John and Andy have been terrific since I've come through the door, and they've made it dead easy. It's a really welcoming place and it's a really enjoyable place to work. And when the opportunity come to come full time, it was quite, I'm going to say, an easy decision. It was also difficult given that, you know, I've spent 9 years at Everton. I've met my fiance. I've kids now, so it's played a big part of my life, and I've had opportunities to leave before, and it just never felt like the right one. But once this was presented in front of me, I knew this was the right opportunity, and this is where I wanted to come. And I'm delighted to be here. I'm absolutely buzzing and excited for the opportunity of the season ahead in League 2 to go and give it a good go. We've brought in some really good players to supplement the good players that we have already. So it's an exciting time, and it's an exciting club to be at. I'm ambitious. I want to get through the leagues. The club are ambitious. They want to get through the leagues. So I think our paths have aligned at the right time. Obviously, to come into my role as first team coach here, working alongside Gary and Kieran, I will also be working alongside Neil Cluxton in a role alongside the academy, overseeing the coaching programme there. I think Neil's done a terrific job keeping the academy going since the club fell out of the Football League. They've been competitive. They've delivered silverware. They had a really successful season last year. But obviously, as you move into the Football League and you get EPPP status, there is certain criteria that go with that. And my job will be, alongside working with the first team, will be supporting Neil and the staff at the academy to make sure that we can develop a coaching programme that will develop players that will go on to play for our first team, that will replicate the style of play that we have at the first team. You know, the gaffer wants to play open, expansive, free-flowing football. It's important then that we know the teams that are playing underneath us are playing that same brand of football as well.
Is that something that you're really passionate about then? You know, like you say, it's great to work with first team, isn't it? It's great to work with, you know, professional footballers that, you know, that's their job. But is that something you're quite hungry for, to sort of develop the academy at Chesterfield FC?
Yeah, I think it's important that if we can attract the best young players in the area and we can keep the best young players here and they come through to play on our first team, you know, it's their club, it's their town. So it'll be really important that we get the best players and we develop them. In order to do that, we have to have a programme and we have to have a set way and structures in place that's going to allow us to do that. And obviously the natural progression is that they come through and they play on our first team. That is the aim. We want them to play here. But we also want to produce players that if they don't play here, they have an opportunity to go play either somewhere else or else the opportunity to go and play higher. We want them to stay here and we want to move higher with them players in our team as a club. But we understand the way the game works. So we want to develop players that will play here, but also will have the opportunity to play elsewhere.
Great stuff. On to next year then. Personally for you, what are your sort of goals and targets and how are you viewing the next campaign?
I think the next campaign will be difficult. You know, like obviously we've stepped up a league. We've got a squad full of quality. As I've mentioned before, we've strengthened that squad again by adding very good players to that. I think it'll be tough. You know, we're not going to underestimate the league that's put in front of us. If you look at the manager himself, he's a winner. He's a born winner and he wants to win. He's surrounded himself, I believe, with staff that want to win and with a playing staff that also want to win. So we're not naive to think that we're going to go into a league where it's going to be, you know, I'm not saying last season was straightforward, but we knocked out quite a few wins, I think it's fair to say. And I don't think it'll be a case of going up and just knocking out as many wins as we did last season, but we'll certainly be going up and we'll respect everyone and we'll fear no one and we'll give a good account of ourselves.
Yeah, you must be very excited and, like you say, relishing the challenge, because like you say, you know, it wasn't a walk in the park last year, but by the end of the year we did end up winning the league fairly comfortably, didn't we? So we were very well aware it's not going to be like that again, but again, it's one of those, isn't it, where, you know, when I speak to Webby yesterday, he said, even if we know necessarily it's not going to be like that, we're still going to aim for the maximum points and try and win every single game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in this game to win, aren't we? You know what I mean? Like, you've got to compete every single day, and football, there's so many variables in a game of football. You know, you can go in a game and you can play really well and come out without any points, and likewise you can go into a game and not play well and come out with points. At the end of the day, it's a points game that we're in, and we want to win as many games as possible. By, you know, obviously we'd like to do that playing our brand of football, but at times if we can come away with 3 points in games, we'll be more than happy with that. And it'll be a case of we'll go into every game, like I said, we'll want to win every single game. We're not naive to think that that'll be the case, but we'll certainly go in with that aspiration of taking maximum points every time we cross the white line.
And how have you found Chesterfield as a place? Have you sort of enjoyed living up here? Have you enjoyed meeting the fans? And were you maybe surprised by the size of the supporter base? I know me and you have spoke off camera a few times about the supporters, you know, and that's something you're quite keen on, isn't it? So how have you found Chesterfield and the fan base?
Yeah, it's terrific. It's a lovely place, and like I said, when I came in September, it was made to feel really at home at the football club, and that's an extension probably of the town itself. The people couldn't be more welcoming. Whether it's we're out having you know, a walk around the town, having a coffee, whatever it may be, people are, you know, they'll stop, they'll speak to you, and I think it's important that we give time back to as well to speak to the people. You know, it's what they look forward to on a Saturday or a Tuesday night. Probably this season there'll be a few Thursday, Friday, Sundays as well. But I mean, it shows you what it means. The people, you know, the support we had Halifax away last year, 3,500. I think we took 5,000 or 6,000 to Watford. Like, we were well supported last season, and they came out in numbers. And thankfully, we were able to give them something on the pitch that replicated their support. And hopefully, we can do the same this year. But I've loved every minute of coming down here. My family love it. They love coming down to stay. They love getting around the town. So we've really enjoyed it, and we've been made to feel so welcome.
Great. Just tell me about you as a person off the field then, because again, I think it's great to hear your footballing ambition and the supporters will love that, but who is Paddy outside of football, and what do you like to get up to outside of the game?
I suppose away from football, I'm first and foremost a dad, a fiance, a son, a brother. Family are really important to me. So when I'm not football, and as you know, working in football, it tends to take over your life, and you need a really supportive family and network and backing around behind you, because the highs and lows that come with it can be tough. But away from it, I enjoy time with my family, my friends. I like to go to the gym. I like to watch football as and when I can. But generally, yeah, if I say eating out, all the lads will jump on it because they say all I do is eat when they see me. But yeah, I mean, I just tend to switch it off, running, gym, taking it easy. Because, like I said, when you're in it, it's full on. But that's why we're in the game, innit?
Absolutely. Where do you think that Chesterfield FC can go then? What are your ambitions for the club? Like you say, I know there's been talk about trying to really progress as a management team. So where do you sort of see the club and where do you want it to go?
I think since I've come in, I've only been in less than 12 months, and I think you've seen the club evolve massively within that 12 months. We're in today, the lads due back in tomorrow, and you see how the stadium has just evolved over the summer. With we've got our new floodlights, our sound system, we've got our seating getting in the dugout. Everyone in the club is striving to be better than it was yesterday, and I think that's we don't want to lose focus in terms of we know what's ahead of us. We don't want to be we want to get to this stage and we want to get there by this time. We've obviously got goals and aspirations that we want to achieve as a team, both as a management team and as a playing staff, but we've got to just be better than we were the day before. So whether it was last season we done well, will we top winning the league? No, if we go up and compete, we've done really well. So it's a case about just being better than we were the day before, and if we keep looking to improve and making those little marginal gains, then we'll not be too far away.
And how important do you think your relationship with Ashley Kirk, Phil Kirk, John Crew, and even people in the office, Bridget, Alison, the people that just sit in the office day to day, how important do you personally and as a management team feel that environment's got to be right?
Yeah, well, when you talk about Bridget, Alison, Chantel that sit only in the office, they're the backbone of the football club. So obviously we're the Monday to Friday, we're getting on the grass, we're delivering, we're what the fans see, but the club doesn't run without those people in the background looking after it. Phil and Ash, since they've come in and the dealings I've had with them have been unbelievable. They're just two really nice fellas, and seeing when you speak to Andy and John, you wouldn't think to hold the positions that they do within the football club because they're so easy to get on and they want what's best for the football club. And I think when you look at that, the hierarchy of the football club, the football side of the football club, and everyone wanting it to go in the one direction, it can only go one way.
Yeah, and how sort of exciting is that, because like you say, it's nice to see, isn't it, even in the last year, the sort of relationship between the playing side and then maybe the office staff, it really has developed, hasn't it? And I guess your goal is for that to only get better?
Yeah, listen, it's important that everyone is aligned from the top of the club to the bottom. There has to be alignment. So last year, obviously, we looked as a sort of senior part of the club when you look across the football, the office and the board and things being aligned. Then obviously now the academies come in, we've got to align that to make sure it falls into what we want. And the fans are right behind us, which obviously helps, because in games when it's you need a little push or a shove here, they come right behind you and they get you over the line, or they give you that extra 5%. And it's really important that we've got everyone singing off the same hymn page, because it's going to be tough next year. There's some big teams in League 2. There's going to be really difficult games coming up, and it might not be plain sailing, and there might be times where we think we're in a bit of hot water here, and that's where we all need to stick together. That's where we all need to have each other's backs, push each other forward, roll our sleeves up, and then come out the other side of it.
And just for the context of the people listening at home, it's Friday the 21st of June today. Obviously the players aren't in yet, but obviously tomorrow they're back in on the Saturday. So you then fly to Spain for your pre-season camp, don't you? So when this interview goes out, you'll probably be over in Spain, or maybe even back from Spain. But how much are you looking forward to that trip, and how important do you think that's going to be team bonding wise? Yeah, I think we're really fortunate that we get the opportunity to travel and have a warm weather training camp. It'll be great to see the lads back, the lads from last season. It'll be good to welcome the new lads back in. Won't be too much on the first day. It won't be too much. Obviously then we'll travel on the Sunday, and it'll be triple sessions then for them over the course of that week. But it is, listen, when you go away on those trips, it is about getting the lads together. It is about having bonding. It is about welcoming the new lads to the group, the old lads getting back together. I mean, they've been lively in the WhatsApp group pretty much all summer, so it's not like they haven't spoke to each other. But it'll be good, and it's important. But it's work at the end of the day. The lads are going over there. Yes, it's sunny, and yes, it's somewhere nice. But we're there to set the precedent for what this season's going to look like, and it'll start with hard work. Maybe a difficult question, but if I was to ask you to maybe pick one or two names of players that, when you came into the club, maybe really sort of took you back and surprised you at maybe it could be their level of hunger, maybe their talent, maybe their drive, I don't know, something, is there anyone in particular that stands out that maybe did take you back and surprised you at their sort of raw ability or hunger? I
I mean, you could go through the squad. I'll be honest, you could go through the squad. The natural one for me would be obviously getting the opportunity to work with Griggy. You know, I grew up as a young lad in the Northern Ireland setup, and obviously Griggy was playing in the first team there, and we used to watch him, you know, when he was at Windsor Park. And now to have just even a small opportunity, you know, to work alongside him, and you know, I always have a bit of a joke with him. I'm trying to tell Will Grigg what he can and can't do to help me become a little bit better. And to be fair, he's a top professional, and he takes it on board. And you know, as a footballer, you probably, or as a coach, you probably don't appreciate just how good he is until you're working with him every single day. And that's probably similar to Michael Jacobs as well. Like what Crackers can do with the football is just frightening. His range of passing, you know, his weight, his timing, the type that he uses. And then probably dropping in just one of the young lads is just desire to compete every single day would have to be Dubs. His mentality, how he wants just to be better, how he wants to win and compete. And you know, I've named 3 players there, but I could have went right through the squad. You know, I've been fortunate to work with some of the players before that are top players that have come in. But you don't go and win the league in the manner in which we won the league if your squad isn't littered by quality. And the gaffer and the rest of the staff have done an incredible job putting that squad together. And hopefully we can, like I said, we've added quality. Hopefully we can add a little bit more and see where we go again.
Yeah, just finally from me then, your chance to sign off, I guess. So what's sort of your message to the supporters ahead of, you know, a real chunk of pre-season coming up, and you know, it's a busy period for yourselves and the players, and then obviously the season will slowly, you know, approach on as well. So what's your message to the supporters?
Firstly, thank you for making us feel so welcome when I first come to the club. Not just me, but my family, who have been to numerous games. You know, that they've been brilliant with us. And even that's when we're just out and around the town as well. I think from a football perspective, the support's invaluable that we receive. The fan base are terrific. They get behind us in numbers, home and away. We had really good times last year, and we want to continue those good times. But like I said, we're not naive to know that it's not always going to be plain sailing, and there might be a patch where we come through a couple of difficult results. But that's when we need you the most, and get right behind us, because hopefully we'll be working as hard as we possibly can to give you a product on the pitch that you're really proud of and really pleased of. And there will be times where we'll need you right behind us as well. So we know that'll come, and we know that they'll be there, and we look forward to it.